As the final buzzer sounded on the Pistons' 2023 season, two die-hard fans, Mickey and Harry, each passed out and witnessed a vision. They were visited by Detroit's very own mascot, Hooper, the stallion ablaze, who told them the only way the Pistons would ever win a championship again was if these two men started a podcast. To be clear, they said, do we really have to do this? I mean, aren't there enough Pistons podcasts already? It seems like this might be overkill. But Hooper dunked on them, right in their face, and said, your team needs you. He presented them with a prophecy. Now it is their duty to help Detroit rise again and become champions. The Order of the Blazing Horse. Welcome back to a brand spanking new episode of The Order of the Blazing Horse, the only Detroit Pistons podcast based on a mystical prophecy. I am one of those prophets touched in a horse, not in a creepy way, in a very consensual, very ethereal, very third eye open kind of way. Harry Morrow's out here in the Ips, out in the Ips. That's for all y'all Michigan peeps and Michigan familias out there. Joined as always by my co-prof, my co-host with the most. Let me boast. It's my boy,
Mickey Jacobs. What's going on, Harry? Glad to be here with you while you're in Oopsie.
Oopsalani. I forgot.
Lenny, how are you? How are you feeling after our third preseason game?
Feeling a little sloppy. I gotta say, like a little bit sloppy. I'm feeling like fine though. The Cavs, who are the best team in the East, I think, kind of hands down, and I think they're a top two team in the NBA. To be honest, they held their own against them with no Cade, no Ivy, no Karras, no Sasser. It sounds like. I mean, who knows with Cade? My guess is he's just done in the preseason. The other guys, sounds like there's a little bit of like injury stuff going on. Just like nothing to worry about necessarily, but like nothing they want to inflame. Mickey, how are you doing though, my man?
Good. I mean, I'm ready for the actual season to start. I'm ready to start seeing some meaningful basketball. I want to get out of the overreactor and just get into the regular C's, my bees. You know, I just want to start getting that sample size up. The sample size is low. I want it to get up. We've got an exciting season. I think there's going to be some changes happening. I think this is going to be a real inflection point.
So you don't feel that we've played any meaningful basketball yet in these three preseason games?
I didn't say that. I think you have to take the preseason with some grains of salt. You know, I think you just gotta just crinkle that, mill a little bit of salt, some kosher salt on those games, because in the preseason you try stuff you're not going to do.
Bay it out there.
But they tried things that we're not going to see in the regular season. Everyone's still kind of like getting the dust off, but I mean that doesn't mean that like it's going to be a completely different team. But like we didn't even see the full starting lineup play together, so it's really hard. It's really hard to judge.
Still haven't seen it,
and I just think the vibe is going to change once we're like fully in the regular season in not too long from now.
It's kind of crazy that we haven't seen like the full starting lineup
for more than 2 minutes ever.
Right. And not at all this preseason either. Yeah. And we're seeing so much other stuff from this team. And that's kind of what the theme of this show is we want to know if the stuff that we've seen, is that like actually the game plan for the regular season? Is that? Huh?
Yeah.
Or are these just like some live reps for some of our young guys to build up their skill set for the long-term future of this team? And there are a lot of like interesting things that have happened so far. Mickey, do you want to start out with the thing that you want to debate, whether this is how it's going to be, or this is just like, let's get some run, seeing what this is like?
Yeah. So one thing that we've seen, and I've learned a little bit about this because I'm not a huge X's and O's guy. I never played basketball growing up, like competitively. But we've been seeing a lot more zone defense.
Oh,
yeah, I know. We're getting into the weeds here. I don't.
Yeah.
But what how do you feel the defense has been in the preseason? Do you think this is like going to be how they approach rotations, or is this more just to like try something on for size, see how it looks? I can't recall personally how much zone we played last season,
Not a ton.
so not a ton.
Not a ton,
Yeah,
if I recall correctly. And my guess on this, not that I have no inside source, but this is my guess. I think this specific situation is not what we see the majority of the time, but I think it's a hey, let's work it out. Let's get this thing figured out here. Plus, zone defense is like, I mean, all defense is good for communication, but you really have to be paying attention to where other people are while that's all going on. So I could see that as like, hey, let's get used to this because we're gonna have to break it out from time to time. We can't just like be a one-dimensional team from that aspect. If we want to have a defensive identity, let's have a friggin' defensive identity. Let's load it up and see how this is all going. Also, maybe they're doing it just because they haven't been able to be like fully fledged how they want to be as far as like
lineup wise.
lineup wise, right?
Yeah,
So
that makes sense to me.
who knows? I don't think they're going to switch to like a zone defense team. I don't. I mean, I don't think any teams are like zone heavy, but they did play some like 1-3-1, and I don't know. I'm curious, but I would say I would err more toward let's get some run out of this than
Yeah.
big season plan. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's been kind of lineup dependent. And in the past, they've been more of a like switch everything kind of defense. And I don't know. I just I hope the rotations improve because what I have seen this preseason is a lot of open 3-point
A
shooters
lot.
like just get rained on. Memphis open. I mean, granted, Memphis was hitting everything, but they were getting
That was
everything.
crazy. Would they
That
go
was
7 for 7 to start and then like 9 or
like the
10?
first right. It was pretty insane. And look, last season Donovan Mitchell was first team All NBA, deservedly so. He was getting everything he I saw that look.
Well,
But
I mean, it depends who you are.
I mean, he's the best player on the
On the
best
best
team in
team.
the
Yeah,
East, so
yeah.
I think it's a safe
And
thing to say.
he's a great player. Yeah.
He's really, really good, and he was taking and making huge shots last night and pulling up from just about anywhere.
Spider can get hot.
Yeah,
Daddy long legs. I guess
I
it's not
like
exactly a
our
spider. Different arachnid. My
yeah
apologies.
yeah. It's well, thank you for we were about to get so
Shut
many negative comments from all of the arachnid heads.
shout out to Bio Boy Harry reading Gerald Durrell novels for anybody who knows who that is.
Everybody knows, but now I found myself like pretty jealous of the shooting off Cleveland's bench between I forget if he started or was off the bench, but like Sam Merrill, Dean Wade, Larry Nance, like just these are solid. Lonzo Ball looked really. They just look really good. They're
They
really deep.
they look really deep. I don't think it's a stretch to call them like far and away the best team in the East. Like from tip to top, from the peak to the roots. They are
No Ty
really,
Jerome,
really
no
good.
problem, man.
Also,
They've got Lonzo, they've got Craig Porter Jr., known Pistons killer.
yeah.
Uh,
Also, they have and they waived Killian Hayes, known Piston killer, but in a different way.
yeah, friendly fire.
Yeah. Sounds like he's gonna play with their G League team, but like the Cavs are just so good. There's something to aspire to, and I think that's pretty cool. And I actually think the Pistons hung kind of tough with them,
They
considering
did
who
without,
they
like you
didn't
said,
have.
without Cade, without Ivy, without Karras. Like,
Starting Dennis Jenkins, like let's talk about
yeah,
that a little bit. Like that as far as like these players go, and what we're gonna see, because this was the first time that we saw a backup point guard come into this position, because typically, yeah, Dennis has gotten some run in these first two preseason games. This third one, he came in and filled in for Cade. But for the majority of what we've seen as far as the preseason goes, Asar Thompson is doing so much of the ball handling, like oh, so much of it, more than Ivy did in the first game, more than Karras did in his game. It's a ton. And it's mixed results as far as like how effective he is on the ball and like what he can do with it. It's a little sloppy, like I said up top.
mhm,
He's my guy, but we can say that it's a little sloppy,
yeah,
lose it a little bit. But only averaging 1 turnover a game with the ball in his hands. That much YouTube user needs more overreactor soon. Listen, our heart rates cannot take it. Like,
You can only spend so much time in that thing. It gets me going. Oh,
you think I can afford health insurance in this American climate right
we're
now?
getting up there. It's
The
dangerous.
premiums.
Yeah. We would
So
urge you all not to spend too much time in the preseason overreactor, as tempting as it can be.
well, if you're gonna get in the overreactor, take some Viagra, take some blood thinner, like go in there with
Just
go in
get
there
bricked up,
rock
dude.
hard. Bricked up to talk about the brick split up. But like the Asar Thompson stuff, like I said, 1 turnover a game, handling the ball a whole bunch. He's like losing it a little bit, but like getting it back. There are some good drives and there are some like not so good drives. It's interesting. It's so interesting. Nikki, do you think this is gonna go into the regular season?
I do actually, yeah. And I think Asar doesn't have to be the backup point guard to be able to give Cade enough off-ball minutes to like be effective. He doesn't need to run the offense all the time, but like Cade's gonna sit some games. Like Cade, the injuries are gonna happen, foul trouble is gonna happen, although he was pretty good about it last season. I think this might not be like nearly as much as we saw it before. This could also be a byproduct of Ivy sitting after the first preseason game, but I think it's good to see Asar getting some on-ball reps. I think dating back to OTE, that's something that he's done, and I think like he's going to be on the team for a long time. The shooting certainly doesn't look like it's improving anytime soon. Let's try to make him as dynamic a player as he can be outside of that.
Yes. YouTube user says Sar as a pick and roll handler is something that hasn't looked great. Just trying it out in the preseason. I think that is true. I think everything you said is true. And the thing that like struck me the most from what you said is Sar's going to be here for a long time. I think him handling the ball this much is very indicative of it. Like we know he's going to be here. We know he's a defensive superstar, like just an absolute stud muffin on the D. Let's see what sort of offense we can pull out of him. And if you can lighten Cade's load, great. If you can solve some ball handling issues by giving Asar the ball, who has great court vision, who has incredible athleticism, who has proven that he can get to the basket and draw fouls, which is pretty easy to do when you have the ball in your hands and you're driving at a fair share and you're faster than whoever you're going after. That's why Ivy shoots a fair share of free throws. That's why Ron seems to be getting some decent amount of free throws. It seems to me like the plan is right now we know what we got in him, but let's make it as good as we can to maximize our youthful talent. And we have the time right now to try it. However, I think they also kind of have the time in the regular season. And if the plan is to get him more involved offensively and to ease the strain on Cade, this is overall a good thing. And if he's only turning the ball over once per game in the process, you're not even losing that much, right?
Yeah. It didn't look good last night, but it's looked better even in the past. Like even again, we've saw it a little bit last season, him running the offense a little bit, and I was surprised by how decent it looked.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know, players have bad games. Asar has played like a shockingly low amount of actual NBA games still. Like
and minutes
he's
on top of it.
Yeah, like so I think you got to take it with a grain of salt. Get the hell out of the reactor and just to borrow the Philly phrase, as dangerous as that is trust the process a little bit. And yeah, he doesn't have to be, like Chris Paul,
right,
like a Rondo. Like he just needs to like relieve Cade a little bit so that he's not just like completely overwhelmed from all the usage.
Shout out Cam in the chat. I think they should ease into it. Maybe start off as a tertiary ball handler. Great. Like
I think that's what it's going to be. Like, I think, yeah,
that's essentially what's going down. And if you want like an example maybe of what they're going for, I see it as kind of what OG Anunoby has been doing in the last season with the New York Knicks, right? Like there were times early in that game when Brunson didn't have the ball in his hands, OG was like kind of doing his
running
thing.
the up. Yeah, but I will say, like, OG's a seasoned vet and looks a lot better in those situations, and his handle's better.
100%. But that's what I think the Pistons want Ausar to get to.
Yes.
And you have to give him the opportunities to get there. And it's not like he's just going to do it in practice. You got to see it in game speed. So bringing it in the preseason, that's a good start. And it hasn't looked bad enough where I think they're going to pull it back or away, not away completely in the regular season. I think he'll be doing it, but just not a ton. Not as much as all that, especially when you have like ball handlers to go around. Like they already know Karras can handle the ball, so we haven't seen any of that. Ivy, they know he can handle the ball, but like we also have some fact finding left on Ivy to do. And like also we have Sasser, we have, like I said, Dennis Jenkins on top of it, and Tobias can handle the ball a little bit. Jalen Duren in this last preseason game was showing he can handle the ball a little bit. What we got from YouTube user. The start handling and transition is what I want to see regularly. Rebound and push the ball, get the team and the offense quick to if a bucket isn't there. Absolutely.
He had a really sick take last night, like all the way to the cup, just like, and the finishing looks better
after a defensive stop from him too. I think. Yeah. They're also doing this with Jalen Johnson and Peyton Watson. It makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Get your wings ball handling as much as possible. And like we said, Ausar's getting free throws from doing this. Not making a lot of free throws right now. If I was Ausar, that would be, I would say, fuck that 3-point shot. Give me that free throw line non-stop.
Lock him in the gym with Vincent from now until the regular season for real.
Just there.
just free throws.
If he can hit free throws, if he's hitting 70% of his free throws, he was like 60 something last year, I think low 60s last year. If you get up to 70 and you're getting like 8-9 free throws a game, that's like 6. That means you're scoring 6-7 points per game, somewhere in that that range, just from the free throw line. Get that, and then I'll be very happy as far as his offensive output goes.
Yeah, I don't know what it's been, but like not just to start, but like I feel like the preseason team free throw percentage has been pretty dismal, and so like that
spirit of Beasley lingers on.
Well, and like, but it's not just him. It's like Ron has been known to smoke 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Like players I really like just sometimes aren't great at the line, and yeah, that's got to be something we clean up, because I don't know. We've lost and won a lot of games by like a small handful of points. So that's going to be key. And we don't want to get into a situation, not to be alarmist, like a Hack-Ausar situation, because we learned last season that you can't do it with Duren. But if this is what Ausar is going to do at the line, like that's a viable strategy.
Hopefully it's not. But
it won't be. It won't be. I'm not in the reactor. I'm not in the reactor.
At least he can get the ball out of his hands pretty darn quick. He does have great vision. He's got super fast passing. pretty stellar. What else from the preseason so much? And if in the chat, if you have something that you feel like you've seen this preseason, you're like,
please,
is this really going to happen? Let us know. We'll talk about that. Anything else that you've seen that you're like, is this the real deal, or is this just game reps?
One thing I'm curious is, and they've said that it's going to be something that we see more in the regular season, and I wouldn't be surprised just because we don't have both Beasley and THJ, is Stu shooting more threes, because it looks good. It looks really good. And like, I don't know if he's going to have to fill in at the 4 at all, but like here and there, I think he's more than capable. I think his handle's improved. I think him around the rim has improved. The rim protection still looks great. He had like 4 stocks in like less than 15 minutes or something.
It's such a sick block on a Jared Allen dunk, who also Jared Allen had his fair share of dunks.
Sick block on Ausar. Yeah. No, yeah. I wonder. I hope that's real, because we've seen him hit him from the corner, top of the key, wing. Like Stu worked really hard to get that 3-point percentage up, and I hope that we see more of it.
It doesn't look bad. Like it looks good, and he looks quick to get it up on top of it. Not like he's thinking, maybe should I do it? That's what we noticed last season, was even when it seemed like he had the green light to shoot, he was like,
set the feet, right. Take a beat. Yeah.
So Cameron real quick said last 20 games or so of the season, Ausar was at 7% from the free throw line. That's what I'm talking about. Get there. And YouTube says, is Dennis going to get rotation minutes in more than 15 games? Yo, let's just transition.
Dive in. That's funny. You should mention that.
Yeah, very funny.
And you know what else is funny, but it's actually pretty serious, is that you should like, subscribe, because we got some chat participation. We're exiting the off season. it's about to get real. We've been keeping it real all off season, which is not always easy because there's not always stuff to talk about, but we're going to have plenty to talk about. We're having fun. We've got games, we've got guests, we've got takes. So stay with us.
Now we got 91 subscribers on top of it. We brought some back. We added some new ones. We're 9 away from the goal. Get us to triple figgies. Triple figgies, baby. That's what we're looking for here.
Yeah.
And the reason that we say this is so timely, YouTube user, is because our next, and this is going to be a short podcast. This is the last little segment we're going to do here. Our next segment is from cold to bold. Our cold to bold takes. It's a lot like Mama Bear, Papa Bear, Baby Bear. We got cold, we got medium, we got hot. And who knows what is just right for you. But you took the cold take right out of my mouth. My cold take, and this is the one I think is like most likely. Like it's such a cold take. Like I don't even have to validate it too much. But I think Dennis Jenkins is going to get rotation minutes in 20 games this season. I think you'll see him for a quarter of the season because 1, injury, 2, he just looks good. Like he started in this last preseason game. Like
true backup point guard.
He's playing defense. He's shooting the ball well. He got 19 points. Like he sees the court pretty dang well.
Gets to the line too.
He gets to the line. It's hard not to like the kid at this point. And what's the reason to hold him back? Because he's a G Leaguer? Whatever. People have come out of the G League. I don't know who.
He's also a G League killer. Like I think like with the G League, just because you're a G League killer does not mean you're an NBA player, but you can't transition from the G League to the NBA if you're not a G League killer, if 100%. That makes sense. So like we saw Saban Lee as like the MVP, but he just didn't really carve out a role. Dennis could break through. Yeah. Dennis could be different. So yeah, I think
from Nitro to Hooper.
There we go. We're a very pro horse pod. But no, I think he's got a good, that's a position of need. I think Sasser's a better shooter, but I do think Dennis is a more dynamic playmaker from what we've seen. So I think that could be really, really cool to see.
It's gonna make the what the rotation of this team interesting, because just while we're here from the preseason, I'm not sure this is gonna happen immediately, but I think Chaz Lanier might get some rotation minutes as well. People keep talking about it'd be so great if Malik Beasley could come back. I don't think he's coming back, folks. I really don't think it's happening at this point. Having the open roster spot is so valuable, especially when you have this trade exception and what the Pistons might be trying to do. And just having a guy like Dennis, where you're like, well, do we even really need 15 in this situation? So I think Chaz could get some run because his shot has looked good too. Not just outside, but his inside midi pull-up has looked good. His defense looked better than I anticipated. He looks a little bit bigger than I thought he was going to. So who really knows? Who knows how much Bobby Clipman's going to play, if at all? But Bobby hasn't looked that bad. He hasn't looked that good, but he hasn't looked that bad.
He had one good game.
Yeah.
Although, it was cool to see, and we saw it a lot last night, was it wasn't, without Cade, everyone knows to feed Duran lobs. He's just the lob monster, dude. Everybody's just getting him down low.
Well, I mean, I think he said it is throw it up anywhere. I'm going to get it. And
I'll probably get it.
Yeah. You've seen some of the passes that Cade's thrown, whether it was to avoid deflection or just because he was getting it up.
Sky high.
Still gets sky high. For all my Atlanta rap lovers from the 90s, if you're into that. So that is my cold take. Yes, I think Dennis will get 20 games plus. 20 games is
20-ish.
guess. Yeah,
20-ish. I like that. My cold take, and this is pretty icy. The power forward of the future is not on this team, which is to say, I think Asar and Ron will play, and Stu to some degree will play power forward minutes this season, and that will be fine. But I don't think that is the long-term solution. I think those are actually all long-term Pistons, Asar, Ron, and Stu. I don't think Bobby is the power forward of the future, and I think we will need a big body 4. And I don't think he's with us right now. Tobias has been great, but he's getting up there.
He's season 15.
Yeah, I would love to re-sign him for a cheaper contract and have him just cook off the bench. But I think we are going to need a 6'8" plus guy at the 4 with shooting ability. Mm-hmm. If we want the Asar Duran starting combo to work, and I do
too. Dude, I do. Keenan Miguel, shout
Yeah,
out Kelly
classic.
Mitchell, orange
Soda, baby. Yeah.
which was, by the way, my favorite soda for a long time growing up. Orange Crush. I was a big Orange
Controversial.
Crush
Not
guy.
Werner's.
No, it took a while to get into the Vernors. It was just so much.
You're
It
not
was
a
so much.
spice boy. You're
No,
not a spice boy.
yeah, exactly.
I
I
forget.
love me some Vernors now, Michigan through and through. But
Good stuff.
you know me, I'm an ice boy. I'm an ice boy with the cold
Yeah.
take. In the big make. I love that cold take from you. And that cold
Thank
take leads into my medium take. Maybe my medium
A little
plus
tepid take. Yeah.
a little tepid take. Well, this is about as spicy as I get in the food department. When I get my
Medium.
Indian food at Spice Palace, I ask for medium, sometimes medium plus if I'm feeling a little extra. But medium is where I live. It's what I can handle. And my medium take in that four world is I think Lauri Markkanen is a Piston before the trade deadline this year. Speaking of your stretch big, your stretch four, I know I've hit on this in the past, but I just want to break it down a little bit in this podcast. Why? Part of the reason I'm more and more hopeful, or dare I even say, I don't want to say confident, but like believing that it might happen. And you and I have talked about this off air, is because Cade is ready. Like that's it. It seems pretty clear. He looks so freaking good. It was nuts. Don't let me get in the overreactor talking about Cade again. That was too much. But if Cade
Was it?
if Cade is ready, and you get him a number 2 scorer, which we don't have a proven one on this team yet. We know Lauri can be that because he's a number 1 scorer for some teams, not for playoff teams, but like YouTube user says, Cold take, Cade is an all-star, all-NBA, and gets MVP votes. Cold as ice, my friend. that is cold as the topsoil in the middle of winter in my Ypsilanti backyard. I'm right with you there. But with Lauri on the court, now you have a guy who's a proven 3-point at volume, at high percentage shooter who scores over 20 points a game, has his whole career. If him and Durn are starting, that's 2 near 7-footers with Cade Cunningham, who is a big 6'6", and with Asar, who is a big 6'6". And we'll leave whatever this other spot is like blank, just so we don't like go into it. But there are plenty of, you could start Duncan Robinson, you could start Ivy, you could start Harry. It depends on like what's there. I mean, do what you want. You can start Ron Holland. Do what you want with whatever that third position is in your brain. But it just, if you have that size, if you have the shooting, you could play. I mean, you could bring in Stu, you could play 5 out if you wanted to with some size still. When Cade's not out there, you still have a guy who's a proven scorer. It just makes a lot of sense to me. Even if he's not like great on D, does it even matter? Does it even matter that much? We got size, we got shooting, we got scoring. And he doesn't shoot the ball that much.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't pass the ball that much, but we've got a lot of guys who can do that. YouTube user, the last time Harry and I spoke about this, I was very much not in we should pursue Lauri Markkanen camp for a couple reasons. One of which you mentioned was the defense. And the other one is I felt that the contract limited your ability to go get another big guy. I was sort of like, you know what? Why can't we just have like a bunch of well-rounded two-way guys around Cade? Like we were talking about like Keegan Murray and Keon Ellis, for instance, of like, wow, you get like 3-and-D wings and guards. Cade can just be the only all-star. Like there doesn't need to be like a number 2 scorer. It can just be like a bunch of good dudes. I've come around a little bit, and I'm going to tell you why. I agree Lauri isn't the best on defense, but what he does is he enables you to keep Duran and Asar. Like, and Ron, he opens his size and shooting. Like, let Lauri be the worst person on defense in the starting lineup.
That's a great point, dude. Sorry to interrupt, but like,
no, go ahead.
In this theoretical situation, it's probably Ivy out, Lauri in.
Correct.
What is that really a downgrade on defense?
I really don't think so. He's got a big body. He's got a big pasty body. He's got that big disc golf body.
Yeah, we play in the
So
woods, dude. We don't get that sun.
no, it's a tree canopy is dense. But but
Jewish
no,
dudes.
I look, we've got two players who seem to be long-term pieces in Asar and Duran, and
Okay.
like yeah, but those two guys aren't shooters. And we need a like pure shooter. Would it be great to get a guy like Triple J? Yeah, that's going to be difficult. Lowry's available, and I do believe the clock's ticking. Like Cade is ready, and also Lowry's not that old,
He's
and
28.
he's not that injury prone. So like consider the next 5 or so years pretty set. And like who knows? We've seen players improve on D under Bickerstaff. Who's to say Lowry couldn't do it?
I think Lowry and Duran is one of the worst defensive front courts in the playoffs. I mean, maybe, but I think Duran stepped up pretty significantly defensively in the playoffs. Plus, Asar out there like really helps out. You also have one of the better point guard defenders with Cade Cunningham out there. Again, whoever the third starter in that situation's case. And the other thing to remember is that's 2 7 feet tall guys.
Yeah, that's where I don't think I agree with that. I hear the concern, but I think Duran grew a lot. He's still very young, grew a lot in terms of talent and defensive work ethic. But we've seen just like even from like the James Wiseman experience of like just having a 7-footer in the paint is a deterrent.
Yeah.
Harry and I off air were talking about Lowry's stock numbers, and they're not great, but they're not like disgusting. Like he's good for like a little over a stock and a half in like non-defensive systems. Imagine if he comes into JB's offense, JB's system. There's some room for growth there, and I think like the size alone buys you some help.
The size buys you help. Also, he's no longer the primary like scorer. He's no longer the primary focus where he has to spend all his energy on offense, right? He's the second guy, and not even like that important as far as like ball handling stuff goes. He is familiar with JB. We've seen JB get stuff out of these guys, and his stock numbers aren't that different than what Tobias Harris's were when he came to this Pistons team. Like a little bit less, but not that much less. You're right. 7 foot doesn't equal good defense or good basketball IQ. Oh, what up, Bobby Bellin?
My baby.
Welcome to the Chizat. But I'm going to be honest. I don't know that much about his defense. I haven't watched Lowry specifically enough. Maybe that it's worth like a deep dive, like going through and watching some of his tape and seeing what he's like defensively. But like, I don't know that he's a cone out there. I don't know if he's so bad. I just know he's not like a great defender. And when you have several pretty darn good defenders and you have a system that people believe in, I think it's kind of okay. And when we're looking for like a floor of the future or a number 2 scorer, you can't have it all. You can't have a big 4 who can shoot the 3, who can score 20 points, and who's a dominant defender.
And who stays healthy.
It's just, if you don't think Duran's that's fine. But I think he might be, and I think the Pistons need him to be.
You know what? Here's an interesting like sort of counterpoint is I think Harry and I were both looking at this from the perspective of like Duran is a long-term piece, like his chemistry with Cade, his youth, the improvement that he's shown in his first few seasons make us think that he's here to stay. So if he's not, maybe Lowry doesn't make as much sense, like maybe if you want like a stretch big or like a, I'm not saying I want this guy, but like a Walker Kessler, who's like a better rim protector, who's going to get you big stocks, like that changes things a little bit. I think Harry and I are both looking at this from the perspective of like JD sticking around. Cade called him his favorite big in the league. That might just be lip service, but like,
I mean,
it's pretty. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead. I should.
No, it's just a pretty big statement, and we've seen them cook together for quite a while now. It's one of the best like pick and roll duos.
My last point about it is if you think he's currently is your high, I mean, I didn't say he was great, but I think he's more than serviceable, to be honest. And I think in the playoffs, especially, he showed that he was.
I think he's fine.
He's
I think
doing
he's fine
like,
in his first season under JB. I think he's an okay rim protector.
Right, and he showed improvement. Like it's like undeniable. They showed improvement, and I'm high, not yet, but I'll get there.
Off fair.
We'll get there. And this is one last part of the. And again, like there are only so many balances you can have as far as like team construction goes. And most apparently you're the Caps, but or I guess the Thunder on top of that. The other part is, what other big name pieces are available, and what are probably going to be the price that he's going to be, which is not. I don't think it's going to be as much as some people think it's going to be, and also at this specific position, we're talking about at the four. We don't. Mickey just put it out there. We don't have the four of the future on this team. What fours do you want, and how could you acquire them, and how will that work out?
And we're gonna move on, but like, please put in the chat who your four of the future would be.
Would love that.
Like, but like, you know, again, last time I was opting for like a Keegan Murray, and then you get another like 3-and-D guard. But like his shot is less proven than Lowry's. Like I will say, like, so
he might be harder to get. On top of that, although like who knows what the Kings are doing?
Well, he's got injury problems now. Like since we had this conversation, but want to see your fours. Like I'm curious. I'm always. I think about this a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially from YouTube user. Like, if you want this better defensive front court, what do you think makes sense? Tell us who.
Or is Duren not the dude? Like, would you rather have like a Miles Turner? All right. So my medium take is that, and this sort of like ties into what we were saying.
Trade Duren, get Gafford. Interesting.
That is interesting. So you Gafford versus Duren. Okay. I'm thinking age. I'm thinking height, but like Gafford's a really, really good.
He's a proven shot blocker for sure.
Really good center. Nasty.
You give up a little bit of like
cool.
You give up like passing a little bit, and
like
maybe a little bit of a lap threat. You give up some age, I believe, as well. But like, still,
I like Gafford a lot.
Yeah.
Well, and just while we're moving on, I want you. Let's say we keep Duren, who's the four you pursue instead of Lowry. My medium take is that I think Ron Holland is the two guard of the future.
Oh, yeah.
I believe in. I think he will be. I think he will be 33+% from three this season. And I think the idea of having a 6'8" two guard who's a menace on D, like I don't think his turnover problem is that much worse than
Ivey's.
Yep. And
solvable. It's solvable.
And he just screams Piston to me, like everything about him. Like he's we were talking today off air, like probably the second most exciting Piston to watch at any given moment now. I like that's it. I don't want to take up too much time. We spent a lot of time on the power forward.
We did, but I'd love to keep talking about. I could talk about Ron all day from 00 to 5. Like, see, every time Ron comes onto the court, I get geeked. I perk up. And can we talk a little bit, just briefly, on the first minute that Ron Holland was in the game against Cleveland? He gets the first shot he takes is a catch and shoot three, which he drains. Which, by the way, he's 3 for 3 on his first catch and shoot threes of the preseason. So every game he's hit his first one. The very next possession gets a drive and 1 bucket. So he's got 6 points in less than a minute. It's nuts. Some bad play after that, but like overall, oh my goodness, it's he can put up points in a quick tick. He gets it fast. He gets it going. He can be a menace on defense, like we said. Some stuff to clean up there, but we got to take in mind the kid's 20 years old. Like this is another 20-year-old that we're talking about. Just like Duren is 20 years old last year, right? It's phenomenal having these young dudes there. And if he gets up to 33 and a 3-point shot, that's a 10% increase. I think. What wasn't he 23? Was he 29 last year? Ron Holland stats. Let me look that up. He was 23.8% from 3 last year. So get up to 33, that's 10% increase. I think he might get up to 35, to be quite honest. Like the shot looks good. It looks really good. And he's passing it more. Like there were some turnovers with his passing, but he's looking to pass more on his drives. I
think he's as good or better than Ivy at everything besides shooting right now. Like I don't think I think Ivy's assist to turnover ratio kind of sucks for like, you know, what is your second ball handler?
I mean, Ron's isn't great either. It's like 1-to-1 or something like that. But Cade Asar as the future makes it easier to accommodate defensively for someone like Laurie at the 4. That's what
That's sort of what we're. But
Mhm.
again, I still want to hear YouTube. Like let's assume let's assume Duran stays. Who's the 4?
Right.
Who's a guy you would like? Because I like Gafford at the 5 if Duran leaves, but I want to know like who's the other power forward's a tough position.
And let's just real quick. I want to talk about. And we don't have to talk about it too much, but I just want to say if that Laurie trade happens and Ron is the 2 of the future,
that's the dream.
It's Cade Cunningham at a big 6'6" as your point guard. Ron Holland is 6'8", 6'9", your 2. Asar Thompson is a big 6'6" for your 3. Laurie Markkinen, 7 feet tall, your 4. Jalen Duren, 6'11" to 7'2" if he grew 3 inches, like claims are. That's enormous.
Okay. YouTube user, and like that still leaves like his concerns for the front court are like defensively is like you've got a menace in the 1 through 3, but I don't love the idea of Ron and Asar like filling in at the 4 beyond this season because I think like Stu is the only one who can guard your Giannis's, your Joel Embiid's, I mean, maybe that won't even be a factor moving forward, but your Pascal Siakam's, like, I think those guys are really good defenders, but I think there's just like size limitations. Now, I'm not saying Lauri Markkanen's going to be like stopping them either, but I just think, like we will need a true power forward, ideally one who can shoot if those 3 guys are staples long term.
Right. And you like guys like PJ Washington as well as like possible options.
Yeah, I would love someone even like a little bigger than that, but I do think he plays bigger than he is. But to me, that's like a serviceable 2-way power forward. But I mean, I think you would run into problems there with guarding like big, like Giannis types.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's a group effort. Like,
with those guys, you just have to do whatever you can do, right? Like solve it, because there's a reason they're perennial MVP vote getters. It's because they're like unstoppable. And speaking of perennial MVP vote getters, I'm going to give my bold, from cold to medium to bold, my bold take.
Before we do get into the bold takes, like we're loving the spirited debate that we're having here. This is great. Like I think the show's at its best when we got interaction in the chat. Like, subscribe, tell a friend. We got all these takes: bold, medium, cold. Let's go. All right, get right back. One more time before the bold takes come, because you're gonna really get mad. You're gonna really get mad after this.
People are gonna get hot. Robbie says Zion is a wild card, but then you got to have a stretch 5. I'm gonna tell you why I don't want Zion on the team, and it has nothing to do with basketball outside of injury, but off the court stuff. I like that Detroit, like the Lions and the Pistons, have like this kind of high character mentality going on right now, and allegations and stuff. Let's try to avoid that as much as possible.
I also just don't trust like Zion's body. Yes, and it's weirdly, it feels like everyone forgot about that for some reason. He lost weight and everyone's like, Zion's incredible now. And I'm just like, whoa, wait, wasn't he just like, didn't his, like, he's accused of rape and like also like threatening to kill. I guess everyone's just like allegations, nothing is proven, whatever. I agree with you. I think that's like not smoke we want, really. And I also just don't think he's like put together a real season like in forever. But in theory, in a vacuum, if he's like fully innocent, that would definitely be fun. But I also kind of wish like, whatever. We'll move on to the hot takes.
Yes. So the bold
takes. Excuse me. The bold.
The bold A1 bold with extra zest and tangy stuff on it. Yeah, Bobby, he certainly does have extracurricular activities, as some like to put it. Gets work in the mills for sure.
You could say we're not Zionists in this podcast.
Damn, dude. The wild part is that's not a hot take.
No, it's
not for this
levels.
Very good.
All
Damn,
right,
dude. So finally, we'll end here on the bolds. My bold, as we were saying, guarding the MVPs. My bold take is that Cade Cunningham will finish top 3 in the MVP voting this season.
What? So that's hot. it's sizzle. That's got some sizzle, and he's been known to sizzle. Cade is
sizzling.
He's sizzling. So okay, top names that come to mind for MVP contention are Jokic, Giannis, Shea, Luka, maybe Ant,
Wemby.
Yep.
Maybe, and like some people keep throwing Brunson.
Oh, Bobby says cold take.
Cold take.
He likes it. He likes it.
Oh my.
Right.
I do love it. I'm going to give my case, and I gave a little bit when I was in the overreaction, but the more I thought about it, it's like I don't know if the overreactor was on when I was talking about Cade. I was just feeling it. If Cade gets a whistle like he was getting in the preseason, we got to take in mind his free throw attempts per game was 5 last season. He's now an All-NBA player. He's big. He's getting contact.
5 seems so low for the usage, and he had like 8 in the first half in like one or both of these preseason games. If he's shooting like 10 free throws per game, like
that's an additional 5 points a game.
If you're putting up like, I don't know, like 28 points, like 8 assists, let's say it goes down a little bit from last season, and like, I don't know, 5 or 6 rebounds, like those are crazy numbers.
But like, it didn't even look like his assist rate was going down. I just think his scoring efficiency is going to go up.
I'm just saying if there's more handling. I'm just saying if there's outside of him, and like part of this is getting him open more.
My take essentially is that even with the ball handling outside of him, he's still going to get near 10 assists, because I don't think the assists are going to go down. I think what's going to go down is the turnovers, because teams won't be able to swarm him constantly all the time with nobody else being available to like dump it off to, or even him we just saw how effective he was off ball. Like the catch and shoot threes looks good. Getting the ball and just letting him go, he's uncontainable, and he's massive. I'm going to make a weird comparison, and I don't want to take this as like Cade is Kawhi. But when Kawhi dribbles into the paint, he's got almost like a force field around him where people like bounce off because he's so strong. Cade is that big right now where he's just bullying his way to the basket like it's no big deal. And he's incredibly smooth with it on the baseline with that spin move. It's so wild. So if he gets 30 points a game while averaging near 10 assists and 7+ rebounds, that's near Luka numbers, right? Not that Luka ever won the MVP or anything, but like if he does that and the Pistons are second in the East, let's say, that's hard to deny. And getting over some guys, it's going to take probably injuries. It's going to take them being at least second in the East, I think, for that to happen. But like you might need like an injury. Not that anyone wants an injury to these players, but injuries have been like galore to either Jokic or Shea. Probably, or there can be voter fatigue with Shea and with Jokic both. Giannis is on a pretty rough looking Bucks team, so if they're not doing all that,
the win total is not his stats, but the win total.
The win total, and then then it's going to come down to like how good is Wemby, and like how good is Ant, and
I mean, Cade was 7 last season.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, he was 7 last season, and like. No shade to Brunson, but like Cade just defensively alone surpasses Brunson to me. So if you're averaging 30 points a game or near 30 points a game with more assists, with more rebounds, with more defensive steals, and your team second, all that stuff, that's what it would take to get there. Real quick, can we touch on this hot take from a YouTube user? And he finally got to his 4 of the future. It's the Pistons trade for Giannis as their 4 of the future in the offseason. Would you do it, Mickey? And what would it cost?
So it's funny you mentioned that, because Harry and I actually talked about this off air when he had that interview about how he might change his mind in the next.
Chat a little bit. We
talk. I would have zero problem shipping Tobias, Ivy, Duran, and picks for that. How
many picks?
I don't know, probably 4 plus.
Yeah, right.
Like I would probably take 5, to be honest.
When's his contract up? Is it next season that his contract is up? He's got 1 year.
Oh, that is the problem, actually. So you want to hope, and also one thing that I was like, oh fuck, who's the most pissed? He would fit in so well on this team. I would actually love him at the 5, as crazy as that. Although if he's playing the 4 and you slot in Stu,
Who cares?
All of the picks. Yeah,
Right.
fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Is age a concern to you at all? Because and I'm not like, whatever, it's your it's your take, but I just know like Trajan is like talked about like sustained success. But like whatever, maybe you feel like, like because if you get the next, let's say you get the next 5 years out of Giannis, like what can you then do once he retires?
Then
Like
you still have a Cade in his prime. You'll have Cade in his prime.
And people are going to want to come play with that because in theory they have like one to two chips.
Right.
Like,
and you might have one of Asar or Ron or both potentially on your team still. Right. So like,
would you trade Asar
for Giannis?
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to,
yeah.
Really. Like you would have to because they would not be. I actually don't think
no guaranteed championship with Cade and Giannis. That's fair. I mean, Giannis has one championship.
Did he remove that, or did the Night Bot?
I believe he did. Because
no, well, how do you feel about that? You think that's a guaranteed chip, or
there's no guarantee? There's no guaranteed championships, no matter who you are. But you're a guaranteed contender.
Sorry, but we were saying like either way, like after 5 years of that Giannis contract, or however many years it is, like someone wants to come play with Cade after that, like whether they win a chip or they just are contenders or in the conversation. Yeah, that would be sick. Because let's say I think we actually like gamed out the lineup of like let's say you can keep Ron and like what, that's it. So it's like Ron and Stu.
You're probably not giving up Ivy, Duran, and Asar.
You might.
I don't think so. For 1 year of Giannis, you're not giving up Ivy, Duran, Asar, and all the picks.
Oh, he's saying it's definitely a championship.
Yeah.
What do you think it would take? What do you think?
I don't know what it would take, but like all I'm saying is I know at least one of those would still be on the team.
Okay, so Cade, we hang on to Ron, one of Ivy or Asar, and or Duran, Duran, and Giannis, and I mean, I actually like don't hate Stu starting if you have to lose Duran and Giannis is playing.
Right, like that's not a problem. I mean, we know that Stu's not like really a starter, but like maybe he is at this point.
I mean, he's looked pretty good. He's looked pretty solid. I think he's best off the bench, but
I agree. And let me give one word for how I feel about Stu so far. And like I know he'll prove me wrong because he'll lose his fucking head, but he looks poised out there.
I think he looks great. I also think he looks really good around the rim, which used to be like really frustrating to watch. We used to call it like say that he has stones for hands. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes he still has like a missed putback, but he looks a lot better around the rim and a lot more confident. Look at those tiny hands. Look at those tiny hands. But should we wrap up? I'll do my hot take.
Yeah, let's hear your hot take.
It's spicy. It's really hot. Duran will finish his career a 30+% 3-point shooter. and here's why. And I know that Bam like has been taking more shots for longer, but Duran is so young. I think he will get started. I mean, his 3-point percentage is at 0. I'm saying he will retire. Like when you look at Brook Lopez, when he started shooting, like these things can happen late.
Al
Horford, other bigs who learned to stretch, like who didn't just come out shooting out of the gate. I'm going to say, I think he finishes. I'm not saying he finishes 35. I'm saying he finishes over 30. Currently, Bam is I want Triple J too. I want
to cover this.
Triple J would be my first choice. Triple J is the dream. He screams Piston. If he could stay healthy, I like that's the thing. I've just kind of made my peace with it. I thought when they I don't know if Ja doesn't turn out and they're just like really blowing it up, like I would love to swoop in there and get him. But I mean, he does have health problems,
and it's also super expensive, like super expensive.
But he's perfect. Like that's perfect. Like that is the dream. Is the deep boy who shoots. Like
Jesus, Nightbot, take it easy. But you're right. Like Giannis, JJJ, S tier as far as getting here. I just think not to bring it back too much lower. I just think that's like more realistic, less expensive, and you keep more of the core together. But it's neither here nor there. The Duran shooting threes thing. I love so much. Like
There's like
so
really
much.
like no precedent for it, except for his
the
except for
warm-up
his free
videos
throw and
and the free throws.
I'm gonna say more the free throws than anything, which still isn't like a stellar free throw percentage, but
It's not bad.
30% is not a stellar looking at Asar at the line, not to just like keep dogging Asar's free throw shooting, but looking at Asar at the line versus Duren at the line, like and Asar has had like what, like a 20-something% season. Like Duren just hasn't had the green light at all. I'm not saying I think he's going to like start to become a stretch big like right away, or that's going to be the priority at all. To your point, YouTube user, I would way rather him focus on improving as a rim protector. I think that's the priority. I think that's where he lives, is down low. But I think he wants to shoot.
Let's see it in the preseason. Let's see it in this final game here tomorrow.
Bang one. Now that he's playing,
bro.
Now that he's let's do it. If fucking Andre Drummond is shooting threes in the preseason,
Well,
give me a little JD.
And like people too happy about that, but you know,
I can't even have that conversation.
I would that take is getting me hot. That's a
very
hot take.
It's not a cold take. It's not a tepid take. It's a hot take.
It's
bold.
Very bold. Yeah. But this has been a bold episode.
This has been spirited. This has been.
You've been great in it as well.
Thank you, Chad. This has been awesome. It's listen. I'm happy to chop it up with Harry. Just the two of us. We do it all the time. Not for a podcast. But this is so fun. You're excited. We're excited. Stay with us. We're gonna keep doing this every friggin' week. Subscribe. Do all the things, tell a friend, and keep messing with us in the chat. We love it. We really do. It's so fun.
And we're going to have a special guest coming here in a little bit from TV fame, I believe. If I read that email right, I'm so freaking pumped. I'll get this guest on. We're going to leave a little tease for how that goes. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be back next week, probably back at our regular day on Thursday. We'll see. We'll check it all out. We'll
let you know.
Maybe Basketball Movie Club will be back. We'll see. It's been a busy week. But Pistons basketball is back. So maybe we just talk about that. Who knows? Overall, it's been great having you. We're gonna head out the same way we do every episode, which is by reading the acronym aloud, because it's how a horse would talk anyway. So I've been Harry.
And I'm Mickey.